What's up, you wonderful little people? Don't worry, you're not that little. Welcome back to Cards for Humanity, the Mythgard section, or Mythgard for Humanity, if you want to call it that. An event put on by 983 Media, looking to raise funds for the World Health Organization Solidarity Response Fund for the COVID-19. As you can see, there is a target bar at the bottom, up for $1,000. So I can't actually see what it is at now. I wish I could see what it was at now, but you guys can see what it is at now, and you guys can play a part in donating and helping not 983 Media hit their goal, because just helping this community, because this is what this is all about. It's about the CCG community coming together, coming as one, no matter what your poison is. I don't care if your poison is Mythgard, I don't care if your poison is Gwent, I don't care if your poison is Magic the Gathering Arena or Reading Terror. They're all the games that are the card games that are showing today in this stream. Whatever your poison is, just drop anything you can in that link that is in chat, or if you just put an exclamation mark donate and help 983 Media hit that goal and get $1,000 for the World Health Organization Solidarity Fund. But anyway, we are back. We've seen the first round or the first game in the quarterfinals, and we're now into the semis. So we can look at the bracket now, people, and we can see, and we can run, or do you know what? You guys have heard enough of my wonderful voice. Let's hear an even better voice. Wholesome. Wholesome, take us through the other quarterfinal matches, buddy, and talk through the results that we can see on the screen now.
I'm a little surprised by all the 2-0s here. Silver Arrow's deck is that they just destroyed Meowie or Moe. Sorry about that. And Cardine with their Valkyries just ran over Tritros.
Yep, and obviously Large Nuggets at the top, beaten Emaragon. Emaragon. You say it.
Emma Garmin.
There we go. See, that's why Wholesome's here for that one moment. He can go home now. He's been waiting to say that one name, and now he can go out. No, I'm joking. Semifinals. Are you any surprises, buddy? I know you said you're surprised by the 2-0s, but any surprises by our semifinal matchups?
Yeah, the Large Nuggets and Emma Garmin. So Large Nuggets is on kind of a control-y list, the YP. And Emma Garmin was on a YR/G list. And I'm surprised that Large Nuggets took it there. I guess the YP is just a little more consistent. And Emma Garmin put up a fight, but couldn't close out the best of 3.
Yes, and that's the game we're going to be going into actually now, Large Nuggets and Silver Arrow, before we go and look at Cardine and Tufaka later on in the stream. But before we go there, guys, a little treat for you, as we always do. We're going to bring you the decks that these guys are going to be running. So we're going to kick off first with Silver Arrow's deck. As you said, they're running the mono, or as you can see, Silver Arrow is running the mono red aggro Journey of Souls deck. Wholesome, take us through this list, buddy.
I don't know if I would call this deck aggro, but man, it is strong. I faced it on ladder, and it has put a number on me. It's running some of the recently buffed cards like Panacea, Stray Panacea.
Yep.
And that card just, is great early blocker and lets you refill your hand and gain a little bit of life. And then he's teched in the 3 copies of Pit Fiend. So if he goes up against Reanimator or any other Journey of Souls deck, he's just going to be manipulating their Boneyard and doing work there. And this list is just all around great. It's got so much value from Journey of Souls, and then Stairway to Hades, and it's got Rush. It's got all the draw from Melopamine Muse and the Stray Panacea. And it's got control with Extract Life. It's got it all going on. And 3 is a Crimson Pact. So getting through all that.
Like you said, I mean, I was prejudiced. I was wrong, and I jumped to conclusions. I saw red and I saw Journey of Souls before really reading the list. And you're right, It's really not a straight up aggro deck at all. It's easy to look at it and go, oh, red's aggro. But just alone, the mana curve alone, the biggest mana in the most average cost card in the deck is the 3 drop cards. And that straight away tells us this isn't an aggro deck, right? It's got a lot more of a mid-range mana curve to it. And like you said, cards we don't normally get to see, Stray Panacea and also the Pit Fiend, cards that we just don't see very often, but they're going to come out and potentially get value again. The Serapis coming in there, and obviously the 3 red gems on Serapis isn't an issue as it's a mono red deck. And the Sergio Chimera, Seven Ritual, again, the choice of options here for their late game punch in the face. And as you quite rightly said, Stairway to Hades providing that mid to late game pressure that has devastated Ladder last season anyway, when combined with To Heaven and Back. And now moving on to Large Nuggets, who is, many people will know this name, know this face, know this person, as they are a streamer. They do stream Mythgard on a regular basis. And they are running a very colourful yellow-purple deck. Again, Wholesome, take us through this list, buddy.
This is a list that got quite popular with the Purple Buffs update. And usually people have been playing it with Splashing Green, but I think the regular YP version is just as good. And it puts on a little more pressure and doesn't try to go as late as the FOC version. It's got crazy amounts of draw, lots of bombs with yellow and purple top end, and all kinds of control. And of course, the Wonder Drug and Defy Death combo, which good luck getting through that if they have both in hand and you're trying to get lethal.
Yeah, exactly that. Absolutely exactly that. A card that I'm loving seeing in this list, 2 copies of it, and it's a card that I wish that I saw get more play. Is Spiteful Mimic. This card is a card that I find it super trolly when it goes off. Obviously, the card that comes out, and it's comes out with 2 charges as a stealth card, and then at the start of your turn, you lose a charge. But when the minion attacks the card, its controller discards all the charges, and they discard cards, right? And so it's a card that just is a card that you don't see very often. Pentacle of Flavors, I like the splash of one of those. It just gives a bit more. It can make an average card devastating, right? It can, giving it the armor, the focus, the regen, the slayer, and the blast. Just putting it, I say, on an average card, on a mid-range card is big enough. But you get something like a Pentacle of Favors on a twin or on a Sapo, you're just like, oh, why have you done this to me, please? Like, this isn't very fair. And obviously the Jinsuk is a card that, again, I don't feel like it gets tons of play, or it certainly didn't used to get tons of play, but it's a card that I've seen straight up win matches. It's a very, very strong card. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this list.
Yeah, he's got the 5 Spirit Gate, which is important to note. If the game goes pretty late, he's going to start getting value off of that. But we did see that the big red deck is running Pit Fiends, which will mess that plan up big time, and he won't be able to deny him all that value.
Yeah, and 3 Pit Fiends at that. So it's not even a case of do they find that Pit Fiend, it's more of a case of when they find that Pit Fiend. But anyway, I think we're going to jump into the games now, people, and we can see straight off the bat that Large Nuggets is at the bottom of the screen running that the yellow-purple deck, and then we've got the mono red run by Silver Arrow at the top of the screen there. Again, Wholesome, as we like to do it, talk us through these opening hands, buddy.
I'm interested to see what Large Nuggets is going to draw off of this, because he's got a full purple hand pretty much, other than that Mezzo Libre he just drew into, but he's got that turn 2 ghost, which is awesome. Silver Arrow has lots of draw in his hand and a quite a low curve with 2 cards of removal. So I think they're going to be in a really good spot here to put on the pressure.
Yeah, I mean, I can see this game being a proper slugfest, right? An old school heavyweight battle. Like, in the boxing used to be 15 rounds and the guys could hardly stand up at the end, like round 13. I mean, we're going back to the Rocky days. Ivan Drago, Rocky Balboa, everyone remembers it. I can see this being right up there with that contest in terms of this being a bit more of a longer game plan. These decks, as you said, top end, you'd probably argue that the yellow-purple from Large Nuggets has more base power in terms of individual cards, with Perfect Grade, with Daiju, with Twins or Sapo, but the mono red still has a presence there. And as we said many times, Gigantomachia off the top, that can deal with these big guys.
And Crimson Pact, he's got tons of tools for it. So I don't think Silver Arrow is worried about this matchup at all.
No, I think you're completely right there. So we maybe see a Trapezius trading into the maze now to stop the card draw, or we're going to go wide with a Panic Raider, drawing a Panic Raider off the top. hand in hand, and like a perfect tag team. They're like Panic Raider, tags another Panic Raider, out they come. Wonderful. So we've got two. Sorry, you go.
Go ahead. I was going to say, he's got the Imperative Bell established right now, and I think that was one of the reasons why Silver Arrow did not want to kill that maze last turn. Just trying to avoid the rampant card draw. And I think that was a good thing that he did that, knowing that Large Nuggets, we know that Large Nuggets has a Tarragon in hand, and he could have popped that down early ahead of curve.
Yeah, definitely. Rogue Eidolon coming down and shutting that Panic Raider down to a 0 attack. So Rogue Eidolon can trade into it next turn, and it won't do any damage to the card. And we could see there that the Firesong Prodigy went into the graveyard, but bounced back out due to the Journey of Souls having the 3 souls there. So meaning that there's another ignition coming in hand, adding to that control element of this red deck already, right? As you said, there's the Crimson Pact, there's Gigantamachias. There's now going to be another ignition in hand coming off the Firesong Prodigy as well, which is always nice. And an ignition alone right now deals with this Meso Libre if they want to deal with it that way.
Yeah, we're gonna see Large Nuggets get another draw for the maze here, which is some pretty good value for a 1-drop.
Yeah, I always found if you get 1 draw off maze, it's kind of done its job. Like it's done what it's done what it turned up to the party to do. It's brought along the nachos. It's brought along the dip. You're happy. You're like, you know what? Good job, buddy. And then if it gets a second card draw, it's brought along a 6-pack of beer as well. And you're thinking, this guy's a hero. Like this guy's. I didn't ask him to bring this. He's bringing it along, and he's repping this party up. And that's exactly what Maze is doing now. And there's still no threat opposite to deal with it at the moment. And Silver Arrow is going to know that they're going to want to deal with that maze not as soon as they can, because it still needs 2 more pings or 2 more ticks until it can get another card draw. But you can see it is allowing Large Nuggets at the moment to keep up with Silver Arrow's big card draw in hand as well, and Sapper off the top there as well, which is going to burn that because obviously we're still 3 turns away from playing it. But it does now mean that we have the free yellow gems set up for anything like a Sapo or a Misanthropia. And we're now at the stage where we can start seeing that more late game presence of Large Nuggets decks, like the Twins.
Yeah, and the purple top end as well. And he's got quite a large amount of minions on the board right now. So Silver Arrow doesn't really have any board established right here other than the 1 pup. And they're going to need to make their way through all these blockers. And that's going to give Large Nuggets quite a bit of time to regain card advantage, most likely.
Yeah, Jinsuk off the top as well is always a nice pull. And you look at Silver Arrow's hand. Yes, there's a plethora of cards there, but is there anything really there that stands out to you and goes, "Ooh, that's"? I mean, there's game-winning cards there, but at the moment, right now, Wings is always a strong card. The Gigantomachia will come. I have no doubt in this matchup. Gigantomachia has potential to get good value, but at the moment, the board state at the moment is just not getting that value. Drawing more cards there, and the Muse is a more card draw. But at the moment, like you said, having those 3 cards along the board on Large Nugget's side, where the Panic Raid is played now, there isn't a route where Silver Arrow can actually get through, right? We're going to get the Ignition in hand as well now. This is the extra Ignition we talked about. And that's going to probably deal with Maze next turn, or at least stop Maze getting another card draw, saying that those nachos, that dip, and those beers are enough for this party, buddy. You're not bringing anything else.
Yeah, and I think Large Nuggets, he got the Imperative Bell activation, which is how he drew Jinsuk on the opponent's turn. And he has quite a lot of mana, so he's going to be able to make some big plays here.
I mean, Defy Death's a card. I mean, I went through times when I loved Defy Death. I've gone through times and I'm like, why am I playing this card? And it's a card that I feel like it's your 500 IQ player, the time to play it, right? It requires so much knowledge from the pilot, and it's probably why I wasn't great with it, to make sure that you're keeping the mana open for it, or the gems open for it, to make sure that you're allowing that card to save you, basically, to do what it says on the card, defy the death of the card. And And yeah, it's good to see it in hand. And I just wonder if we get the value off it this turn. And you see Jinsuk going down there and saying -2, bye-bye, Firesong Prodigy.
Yeah. And we're back to a pretty full board for large nuggets here. And Silver Arrow just continuing to draw. And look, they just drew both Magmatars. So that's going to be really nice to try and clear, but they don't have the mana to play it this turn.
No. It's a shame because the Magmatar bang in middle to get rid of both Mesa Libris would have been nice. Obviously, you could have played it wide, got rid of the Maze and Jinsuk. It looks like that Maze is going to stay around. If anyone's wondering why Firesong Prodigy didn't pop a soul in the Journey of Souls graveyard for Silver Arrow, it's because it was ephemeral. It was the card that came out the first time around. We see Trapeze coming down there and saying, nope, chips and beer, that is all you'll have in Maze. Go away from my party. Don't come back anymore. And building a little bit of broad presence themselves now, Silver Arrow, although nowhere near what Large Nuggets has got on the board.
Yeah, and Silver Arrow is going to need to deal with this Jinsuk here because most of Silver Arrow's minions are, 1-2 health HP minions, and they're going to, her ability is just going to take them out as soon as they're played. Ooh, yeah. We see Large Nuggets drawn to the Master of Shadows here, which Silver Arrow does not have a good answer for.
And I know, and again, Jinsuk has that additional perk of being Lurker, right? So playing a card next to it, even something like Master of Shadows, then the Jinsuk is almost impossible to deal with. Yes, you could play the Crimson Pack. The Gigantomachia doesn't work on it because it's not got over 4 power. It's over 5. It's got over 4 health, not power. So Gigantomachia doesn't tick on it. But that Master of Shadows is basically going to kind of put his little wing over Jinsuk and say, don't worry, buddy, I've got you. You're going to stay on this board as long as you need to stay on this board.
Right, and Red does have a card that suppresses units for a turn, but we do not see that Silver Arrows running that, unfortunately.
Not at the moment. And then you now say, I mean, there we go, because you see the Extract Life come down there, which I think is about time, right? It got back up to 4 charges. It's already done its damage quite a lot. We see Large Nuggets putting the second Misanthropia, which it's a great card, but isn't a great card to have in hand right now, as there is quite literally no cards on the board for Silver Arrow. So it's a card that isn't great now. It's naturally going to burn it there, but Large Nuggets is getting towards that 8 mana, and the reason that's so big in this deck is there are cards like Perfect Grade, like Daiju, like Sapo, which are obviously they're 7 mana, that can come down and just be devastatingly powerful.
So Silver Arrow draws into the Panacea here, and that's going to be a pretty good blocker against Master of Shadows. But unless that Master of Shadows gets buffed up to 4 HP, there's no way that Silver Arrow is going to be able to deal with it. And they're just going to have to continuously chump it or take 2 to the face and try and avoid it. But we see Large Nuggets is running Impel, so that Master of Shadows is going to be able to make their way across the board and take whatever they need to deal with out.
Yeah, and if there's anything scarier than an Immortal 2/2 on the board, it's an Immortal 2/2 with a little bit of mobility from the Impel as well. And finding the Twins off the top as well there. Twins can be played obviously now because the mana is there to play Twins. It's a case of, I'm assuming you probably play Twins, 1 twin wide. We're moving across there to keep the blocker going with the 0/3. Sorry, with the 3/3 of Magmatar, but keeping the 5/3 alive, which is a nice little move around there. And Large Nuggets has the option to drop a Mesa Libra and stun something, which he's going to do now. He's going to drop that. He's going to stun the 2/2 and set up a potential trade on the 3/3s. Just slowing Silver Arrow down even more, right?
Mm-hmm. Silver Arrow hasn't found any of their top end, so that kind of hurts, even though they've drawn ridiculous amount we can't see right now, but I'm pretty sure they're about halfway through their deck. They've got to be.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure if Twins come down next turn, we maybe see the Gigantomachia. Again, this is open deck list, so he'll know the Perfect Grade, the Daijus, the Sapo is there. I remember Sapo with the warded Banishing it is one of the best ways of just dealing with it straight up, because the warded can be really a nightmare to get rid of that card. So he'll be cautious, knowing that blowing a Gigantomachia on just 2 twins isn't ideal, because there are other cards that he will want to get value from it. But how many times have we seen people cling on to Gigantomachia, hoping to get that bigger value, being greedy, but it's not paying off for them.
Yep. Yeah, I'm surprised that Large Nuggets didn't play that satellite right there and use the suppress ability on the Panacea so they don't draw there and gain that 4 health.
Yep. No, agreed. Yeah, I was surprised to see that myself as well. Now, Silver Arrow starting to set up a little bit of board presence himself, playing out wide. We only had the Clay FG blocking them there. And now I'm going to drop that. They're going to silence the Serapis, saying that, hey, you're not going to get any drain off on me, buddy. That's absolutely fine. That's going to be stuck there for now. And the question is, so we are going to see twins come down. We're going to see one go nice and wide over there. I imagine the next one goes wide in lane 7 as we're looking at the board. Oh, no, he's going to play both lane 1 and 2. What does Woody know?
Yeah, Large Nuggets might be just scared of more rush here. We know that Silver Arrow is playing wings, so that could be one of the reasons why they don't want to leave more lanes open and try and race here, especially because Silver Arrow has life tap minions on board, so they can't just leave those unchecked, or else they're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah. And Master of Shadows, right, he's kind of got that covered over there. That lane, as we're looking at the board, lane 5, 6, and 7, he's just like, yeah, don't worry, guys. Like, I've got this covered. Like, you guys do what you want to do, lane 1 to 4. I've got the rest covered, buddy. All right, lean on me when you're not strong. I've got you.
And it's interesting to see Large Nuggets just run out of gas here. Doesn't have a single card in their hand. And top deck's Imperative Bell, that feels bad.
Yeah,
they're going to be able to cycle it out, play it on Clay Effigy. And I guess now Master of Shadows is making his way to try and deal with the rest of the board.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, again, that Gigantomachia is still in hand. We know Large Nuggets is running some big boys that can come down and be scary, but that Gigantomachia is the perfect answer to it. Some more rush minions popping up now. Lane 7 or lane 1 on the Silver Arrow side has opened up for a little swing for 2 damage. We can see that life total is chipping away. Like you said, that the meso off the top.
I don't know why that was a misplay by Silver Arrow. That was definitely a possible scenario that could happen. So they probably should have attacked with Serapis first and activated Serapis' ability before they killed the effigy.
Yeah. I mean, again, 2 damage coming through, and as we saw earlier, that Large Nuggets chose not to use the satellite to block the 4 life coming back, right, on the trade earlier, which now means maybe was that a mistake? Because Wonder Drug's a great card off the top. Spirit Away is another good answer potentially for the Serapis, but it's now a case of, well, Large Nuggets is at half the life, and out of nowhere. We go back 4 turns. We were saying Large Nuggets with a board presence. We're now saying Silver Arrow with a wonderful board presence. And Large Nuggets is pretty much out of steam. He is 1 life away from getting what you'd class as value of Wonder Drug. But he may, I didn't say you have to pop it now, but it'll be going through his mind. Do I pop this now? Do I take the 4 life and just a single card draw? Or do I try to get greedy and hope that they haven't got anything big to do damage next turn? And we see that we're dealing with that there. So it's 3 damage on the board at the moment for Silver Arrow. Going to put down the 6 life for Large Nuggets. And that Sideshow Chimera, which can be a pretty nasty card to deal with. Putting 3 minions on the board, each of one doing their own different ability. One has Armor, one has Slayer, and I believe one has Regen, right? If they're all on the board.
Yeah, Armor, Slayer, and Overrun.
Overrun, that's the one, yeah.
Yeah,
that's the one.
And it's interesting that Silver Arrow doesn't run any Ringmasters. So I think because it's open deck list, Large Nuggets isn't worried and believes they can just wait on the Wonder Drug and get the value next turn. because there's no way for them to really. I mean, they could still get lethal here, but an interesting decision not to suppress the card draw.
Yeah. Yeah, because suppressing the 2/2 is nothing, right? Because the only wording that it has is rush. The card's already on the board, so the rush is gone. It's not an ability now. Whereas, as you said, Panic Raider does still have an active ability in the card draw. So, yeah, like you said, interesting. Maybe it was because he didn't want it on the board, right? If you silence for Panic Raider, it wouldn't lose to 1 health when it attacked, meaning it would stay as a minion on the board, right?
Yeah. So it would stay on the board, and they'll be able to use it next turn. But I guess the interesting thing here is if Silver Arrow redevelops the board and Large Nuggets draws into Misanthropia, they're gonna have to Misanthropia their own Master of Shadows.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Silver Arrow will be done with that card.
That Crimson Pact is looking pretty tasty at the moment, right? Because it's just, obviously it can't deal with the Master of Shadows, but it can deal with any other card that might come down and pose a threat. So,
yep.
See the Impenetrable Bell coming down again. And obviously we know that it's a maze. Silver Arrow won't, because it is under stealth due to Master of Shadows being on the board. Sideshow Chimera is looking like a nice option potentially right now. They won't know what that card is, so obviously Crimson Pact is a potential risk to play on it, because you could lose a lot of life if it's something a little bit bigger. Yeah, so there we go. See Sideshow Chimera come down, which is a great option for the. There we go. Like straight away, 4 lanes of presence. Obviously, I know that the 0/2 isn't really putting much of a threat on the board, but still, it's blocking a lane, right? And pulling a maze off the maze is possibly the last card Large Nuggets would want to see there.
I mean, I think it's all right here. They can Misanthropia and then play that maze. Yeah. And you can activate the Imperative Bell by using it on one of Silver Arrow's minions.
Yep.
And because of the Misanthropia, it'll activate.
Yeah, and that Wonder Drug, you can see, he's got them back to 14 life each. We were saying a minute ago it was 9-18 on life totals, now back to 14 each. We said this is going to be a heavyweight slugfest, right? We said it was going to be a beastly 15-rounder, and it's proving that way. You can see the Misanthropia is going to completely desolate the board. And at this very moment, Silver Arrow doesn't have a minion in hand. So it's going to come down to what they start finding as we get lower on the totals here. There you go. They're pulling 3 off the 3 cards off from the 2 from the Journey of Souls, because of Misanthropia cleared so many. 1 off the top there. Ichor Feast is going to help them find some more cards. And all of a sudden they go, hey, how'd you like my 8 cards in hand to your 2?
Right, and they got 1 off of Journey of Souls too. So I think they're sitting in a pretty good spot right now. I don't know how many cards they have in deck, but it could come down to depletion damage.
That's a very good point. I mean, looking at the deck totals, they look pretty low. We can't actually see exactly how many there are, I'm afraid, people. We see the Firestorm Project come down mid's going to throw a nice little ignition in the hand, and then dropping the Hollow that came off the Spirit Away. 0/3, it's a cheeky little blocker for what they don't know is currently over on lane 7, because it's still under stealth from the Master of the Shadows ability, and they can now see it's a maze. Pulling the second Wonder Drug. That card got them out of trouble last time, drew in the 2 cards and put their life total back up to the 14. And finding it again is always going to be good. How do you see?
They got the 5 Spirit Gate.
yeah. I mean, we still know Large Nuggets have some big threats in his deck, right? He's got Sapo, he's got Daiju, he's got Perfect Grade, he's still got another twin, and all those can come out. And Silver Arrow is starting to find their threats kind of. I mean, they haven't found the 7-ring ritual yet, and they haven't found the Stairway to Hades, but we've seen Sideshow Chimera come and go, and yeah, this is really set up right for a. I wouldn't want to call this. I'm not a betting man, but if I was, I wouldn't want to bet on this game. I would not want to see this one out and call this game.
Yeah, I really don't know which way it's going to go right now. We're just going to have to see if Large Nuggets can. I mean, I think Silver Arrow might be in a good spot. I really want to know at the beginning of the game when large nuggets played that Ghost of in the system, what they put on the bottom of the deck, because Silver Arrow, it might have been their Hades enchantment, because
Yeah.
they just top decked Seven Ring Ritual.
Yeah, and I mean, Seven Ring Ritual is it's a great card here, right? So they're going to Crimson Pact that, take the damage, and say, hey, I'm going to swing through 4 and start applying some pressure now.
Mhm.
And none of the other cards are stealth. They can't get the stealth ability on the other cards now because the Master of Shadows is gone. Buffed up there, nice, just to get rid of the maze, and now putting that pressure on and actually kind of setting the board up to say, well, you got to start playing cards. But we can see Large Nuggets is on that magical number 8, especially when you have the wonderful card called Wonder Dragon Hand, which we can see it's going to get him out of trouble again.
And they're going to draw 2 off of that. So they're also going to be going into fall and drawing another 2. So he's going to refill his hand quite well here. And there's the perfect grade.
There's the perfect grade. There's the Defy Death as well. I mean, does he go with the perfect grade here to look to apply his own pressure down? Or does he go with, he's going to go with the perfect grade over here. There we go. That's
I mean, if you have the Defy Death and Wonder Drug in hand, you're in a pretty good spot.
Pulls back the Twins as well, removes the card there and says, hey, come and deal with this. And perfect grade showing all of his mechanical muscle in one play. Dropping down there, removing the Muse, removing the Panic Radar, pulling back the Twins and saying, yes, I am a beast, and yes, I can win games. Deal with me now, Silver Arrow, deal with me now.
I mean, they've been holding on to that Gigantomachia all game, so they might just take it here. But the issue is, if Large Nuggets draws into Sapo, Gigantomachia is pretty much their only actual removal that works on it because of Warded. And same goes for the Celestial Dragon. Yeah. So you might, I mean, they don't have much life gain, and Crimson Pact is going to make them take 6 to the face if they use it on perfect grade right now.
Yeah, and the, like you said, the Gigantic, like the Sapo, coming down is the Seven Ring Ritual is going to come down, and whew, set up there, and a Sapo off the top. So perfect grade can pop the ability rights to do 2 damage in the opposing 3 lanes.
Yep.
There we go.
It's just, they're going to be able to go face here.
And then they're going to be able to swing through for the 6 damage, or they're going to move it over and take the damage there. Only takes the 2 damage. And then I'm assuming we see a Sapo come down lane 6 to remove one of them and then say, deal with my Sapo.
I think the reason for that play, though, Woody, is that he wants to play Twins on the gate here. And so he can get something back from his yard. Maybe Master of Shadows, since it's 5 mana.
Yeah, that I mean, that could easily be the case, right? Drop 1 twin. He's gone with the Sapo.
Okay. So
I agree with you. Play 1 twin on the gate and drop the other twin lane 6 or block a lane up. Take 2 trades with the rituals, and so there comes the Gigantomachia, which is good value, right? That is taking a perfect grade and a Sapo out of the game. They cannot come back off of gate at all. It's pretty good value, right?
Yeah. The funny thing is that he has the Defy Death Wonder Drug, so
he doesn't
trigger.
Yeah, we're going to trigger now because obviously they're in Trapeze. Or here you go, Panic Raider coming down. Silver Arrow thinking, oh, I've got lethal, and Large Nugget saying, no, you haven't. So he's going to play that there. He's going to pop the Wonder Drug as well. Tick up. There's the Celestial Dragon.
Yeah.
So I mean, Twin's the best play here, right? Because Twin saves the board. Play a Twin on the gate to pull back a card. Play another Twin over in lane 6. It absorbs all the damage that is currently on the board, and it kind of allows you to stabilize.
Yeah, I'm really not sure here. I guess, that's probably the best play. If you drop Celestial Dragon, that's only 1 body, and that's a little too risky. And if you're trying to block, two of the Silver Arrow's Helions, then he might be able to just kill it with another card from hand.
Yeah, and it's nice that he's playing the Twin Juna over on. Sorry, I would have played it personally. I would have played it the other way around, only because
I think that was just a misplay.
The twin would have survived. The 4 damage from the Panic Raider and the Story Pup meant the twin would have survived, and then it meant that you still have a body over there. But now it means the twins are going to trade, and both twins will get removed.
And on top of that, you're not getting the value out of gate. So.
But that is lethal right there, isn't it? Yep. That is lethal right there. It's come through, and ignition to the face. We said it was going to be a heavyweight slugfest contest, guys, and it was exactly that. It was nearly 20 minutes of Mythgard bliss. I think it was actually over 20 minutes of Mythgard bliss. Silver Arrow and Large Nuggets going at it. An absolute slugfest. And Silver Arrow coming out just on top, proving that their mid-range mono red deck is just enough late game presence to overcome that meaty late game presence that Large Nuggets yellow purple was offering. But that's only game 1, guys. This is a best of 3 series. Yes, you heard it. You thought that we couldn't give you anything better. Yes, we can. We can give you another 1, potentially 2 games of this absolute glorious match. I'm going to jump straight back into it now. Silver Arrow at the top of the screen playing that mono red. We've got Large Nuggets at the bottom with the yellow purple. And as always, we're going to go over to our wonderful, wonderful co-host today, Wholesome. Talk us through this deck, buddy. Talk us through the opening hands.
It's looking good on both sides. Both of them have a really good curve. Large Nuggets has the same opener, Maze, and then Ghost in the System on 2 if he wants it. And Silver Arrow has Gigantomachia in hand again at the beginning of the game. Let's see how long they can hold it this time. And they've got the Panacea as well, and all kinds of card draw and removal. So they're just playing, they're sitting tight, and they're going to grind this game out. I don't think they have a worry in the world here.
Yeah, no, completely that. And as we saw, both of these decks have this way of, especially Silver Arrow's mono red, where you think, oh, they're down to 1 or 2 cards, and then you blink and you go, wait, they've got 8 cards in hand? How did this happen? And I honestly think, like you said, we were very close to decking out last game. Like it was both decks were just drawing cards for fun. Obviously, Large Nuggets finding the dice you off the top there. I'd be very surprised if that isn't an early burn target, because it's a 7-drop card. It's 3 purple gems, and we're a way away from seeing Daiju. Although I do love that card, it can be a little bit nutty. The card can do some really dumb, fun stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. And this feels bad for Large Nuggets. They just, played a 3/3, vanilla 3/3 with that Mezzo Libre.
Yeah.
Didn't get it, the Awaken ability stun, and I think they definitely, they didn't have any other options. It was either, pass your turn 3 play or develop something. So it's kind of sad they didn't see that Imperative Bell before that.
Yeah, no, I agree on that. But Celestial Dragon's a lovely card, and we're only 2 turns away from seeing it. Celestial Dragon, now people are worried. They say, oh, well, the Ring of Eternity, giving immune to an opponent's card is like a big downside to that card, which naturally, yes, it is a downside. But having an 8/8 agile warded card is kind of crazy, like absolutely crazy. And remember, if Silver Arrow removed it with Gigantomachia, then they won't get the Ring of Eternity, because its demise ability won't pop because the banish ability off the Gigantomachia. So it's a pretty good card in this matchup, and it's a card that could, I think if Large Nuggets found it earlier last match, it's a card that could have really put the pressure on, right?
Yeah, it might have forced Silver Arrow to prematurely use that Gigantomachia and only get one creature with it. That's unfortunate. I was surprised that Silver Arrow decided to not use the Extract Life and take out that Mimic last turn, but instead develop a pup and just draw. They really love drawing cards, man.
Yeah, obviously they didn't know what the Mimic was, did they? Because it was under stealth. But still, like you said, they could have got the full value of the 4, and they could have got 4 life and done 4 damage, hoping that was enough to remove it.
Yeah, it's open deck list, and that spiteful mimic isn't fooling anyone.
Yeah, that's
So
also that's very true. um,
yeah,
I mean, this is not a bad hand, right, for large nuggets. They've kept hold of that Daiju. They've said, no, Woody, you shut up, mate. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to keep this Daiju in hand, all right? And we're 2 turns away from seeing the absolute beastie boy come down, potentially come down on curve. I mean, the scary thought here, I mean, obviously, Gigantomachia in hand does shut this down. Large nuggets won't know it's in hand again. But potentially the next 2 curve plays could be Celestial Dragon followed by Daiju. And that is a wet dream for purple players, right?
yeah. I mean, I don't know if he's gonna do it though, because he like Silver Arrow is just drawing so many cards, so you have to assume that they have Gigantomachia in hand and that they're just holding it, waiting for you to overcommit.
Yeah. I mean, last game we saw the Pit Fiend get burnt several times. But this time around, they've gone, do you know what? No, you got gate out last time, and now your gate is going to get, you got 1 card in your boneyard. If they pull another one and keep chipping through that, and that's going to really shut down the gate, right? It's going to really stop the value coming from that. And that's something they didn't do last time. They kept constantly playing the, not constantly, but regularly burning the Pit Fiend. And this time they're choosing to take the value on it. And Silver Arrow is getting a card back. We can't see which card it is, I'm afraid, but he's getting a card back from the Boneyard next turn off of Journey of Souls. Which again, as Wholesome said, it's just card draw, baby. Just give me those cards. Keep them coming.
If I'm not mistaken, I think it's going to be a Strigoi Pup.
So there we go. We see the Celestial Dragon come down.
It's the Panacea.
Now, is this a Gigantomachia moment? Is that enough value in that 1 card to say, I don't think it is yet, because, right, 31 life total is a nice amount. And it's like, hey, you do your 8 damage to me. I'll wait for you to play something bigger. And maybe we do get the Daiju on curve, and the value from Gigantomachia for an 8/8 warded agile and the Daiju is sumptuous stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty hard decision this turn for Silver Arrow. I mean, they have 31 HP, so do they want to risk getting hit by the dragon or not? He knows that Large Nuggets isn't running any Sword Saints, so they're not going to be able to regain, like, add that Biting Blade to the dragon, life tap for 9. So they might just try and clog those lanes. But it does have agile. They're going to need to clog 6, 7, and 8 if they want to stop the dragon from going face.
Yeah, and I mean, they're choosing at the moment to go wide and say, hey, look, I'm going to if I race you in a foot race, then I can maybe bait out a bigger target, and then, like I said, I can get more value on Gigantomachia. I personally always found that, especially Gigantomachia, was if I was only getting 1 card removal, sometimes it always felt a little bit bitter. It was a little bit like, I could get more value on this. And it is, like we said, the top players, right? They will know when to play the card. They will know how to manage their hand for that card, right? When to play it, when to get the value, and when not to be too greedy.
Yeah. Well, I think another reason Silver Arrow is holding on to it is because they saw Large Nuggets play, like turn 3 or turn 5 and 6, like, with all kinds of weird plays. Or I guess they played Dragon on 6, but they had a couple of turns there where they played, a 3/3 vanilla Mezzo Libre just out onto an open board, and then they had another, very mana inefficient turn. So I guess if you're paying attention to that, Silver Arrow might be thinking, oh, they probably have all their top end sitting in their hand, and they might overcommit here. So I need to hold that Gigantomachia and just wait for them to overcommit and get that extra value.
Yeah, no, absolutely. At the moment, Spirit Away is not really. I mean, Serapis isn't a bad target for Spirit Away, right? It's a nice, in terms of Silver Arrow's like late game presence. As we know, the Sideshow Chimera isn't a great target for Silver Arrow because it's free freeze. But going back to that, there we go. He played them both on curve, and there we go. I'd imagine right now Silver Arrow's rubbing their hands together and thinking, "Oh, thank you, thank you." Large Nuggets went, "Do you know what? I'm going to go for it," and I like that. I'm going to go for this. If this sticks on the board, chances are I set up lethal next turn, and it didn't stick on the board. And now, twins off the top though, and the Wonder Drug. I tell you what, that is burning the Wonder Drug.
Bad.
Yeah,
so they can play the twins. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and twins down. Twins is a nice card here because it's again, you look at Silver Arrow's board, 2/2 and a 0/2 and a 0/2. It's nothing too threatening. And remember, these twins have regen at the moment, so Gigantomachia is gone. That's not in the card. That's not in the game anymore. Any big threats to come down from large nuggets now, especially like a Sapper or a Perfect Grade, they have to be dealt with by hand, the old-fashioned way, back using the old-fashioned methods that we used back in the alpha of Mythgardian times. There's no more Gigantomachia to just go away. They have to chip away at them, and these twins are going to.
They have the extract life, so that is one option to deal with one of them.
Yeah.
This turn.
Well, not the Sapper. Oh, sorry. Yeah, with the twins. Yeah.
Yeah, with the twins. But yeah, definitely they don't have an answer to Sapo anymore.
Sapo or Perfect Grade, which again, they're both lurking in that deck. Feng Shui Master is obviously, that'd be great if they find the Stairway to Hades, then that's a nice card that can potentially eat that up and get rid of it. Again, Spirit Away he's going to Spirit Away the 0/2, stop the 4 life coming back. He's going to remove the 0/2 there and drop the Impenetrative Bell, but as we said so many times, look at Silver Arrow's hand. They've never been below 4 cards in this matchup. And Large Nuggets must be sitting there thinking, like, how? How are you doing? You're playing mono red. It's not even like you're playing yellow green or yellow orange. You're playing mono red, and your hand is just always here.
Yeah, this is looking really good for Silver Arrow. They can burn a card and kill that twin with Extract Life if they want. But I don't think it's worth using your hard removal.
I mean, a Perfect Grade off the top right now to play lane 2 and remove the Trapezist and the Firestorm Prodigy would be lovely. Spirit Away. I mean, the argument so they're going to go with the Serapis.
Yeah, they have to.
Yeah, any card. There's not actually a name for those cards in Mythgard. If people are wondering, like if anyone's here, maybe here super early for the Magic tournament that's happening in about 12 hours time. If anyone's here thinking, these are like Planeswalkers, they kind of almost are a little bit in terms of they have various ability text on the card and you build up charges on them to do different types of abilities. There's no actual real name for them in Mythgard. I've heard people refer to them as heroes, but there is actually a tribal archetype of heroes, which is very underdeveloped at the moment in terms of there's not many of them. But they're kind of cards that you don't want to leave on the board too long, right? The charge is ticking up on them. The later abilities that come about can be like hugely, especially something like Braggy Runesinger, where you just give cards frenzy. It's just you got to get rid of that stuff as quick as possible.
Right. So Ghost comes. Yeah, Ghost is going to do work. I think they can control whatever is going to be on top and bottom of the deck, and Silver Arrow is just going to go ahead and draw.
More cards. There's the Stairway to Hades as well. But now if they play it in a clear lane, I mean, imagine the last card. They're going to play it under this. They're going to play it under Firestorm Prodigy, which makes sense because they get the Firestorm Prodigy back. They get another Ignition in hand, and now Firestorm Prodigy is a 4 damage card in a clear lane. Oh, that's not a great draw, right? Because this is looking. Yeah, I think Large Nuggets is going to potentially go to bed tonight at the moment and have nightmares of card draw. How has Silver Arrow managed to just draw so many cards and be so consistent, keeping their hand so large, basically? And we've said this many times, but that's what a good player, right? A good player in Mythgard manages their resources. We know the burn mechanic and the mana mechanics, all the resource management, but managing your hand is as much of a resource, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, Large Nuggets is playing a quite greedy deck. They don't have that much draw. Usually in YP, you'll see maybe a Revelation of Zimic, which will draw you a ton of cards late game, and other stuff like Balance, which, based on how Silver Arrow has been playing and kind of filling up lanes and going wide, it could have got him an insane amount of value.
Yep.
But yeah.
Oh, again, it's not ideal. Those cards are not the greatest draws. There, as you can see now, Pit Fiend doing work and absolutely zero cards in the graveyard for large nuggets, meaning 5 Spirit Gate is about as useful as the Boneyard is at the moment. Pentacle of Favors, there's nothing to put it on. Feng Shui Master, at the moment, there is no unoccupied enchantments. So you have to say that this game is looking very likely to fall in the way of Silver Arrow. We're going to get the Pentacle of Favors on there, gives it a bit of the armor, gives it a regen as well. And that the armor is only 1 though, so both both Strigoi Pups will trade into it.
Yeah, this is lethal. Yeah. You just trapeze and extract life that.
Then we get the extract life, like you said, imagine, and then that sets up the perfect 10 damage on the board. And Silver Arrow will finish up with 25 health with the 4 life gain coming back off the Strigoi Pups. Wow. Whew. And there we go. Silver Arrow taking this matchup 2-0, right? 2-0. God, I mean, we looked at the deck list early doors and we said it was going to be a tight game. You said yourself that recently on Ladder, you've played against this mono red deck that's been adjusted with the balance change that come around about 2 weeks ago. And you said yourself, this is a tasty deck. You said, Woody, this isn't aggro, mate. You're an idiot. This isn't aggro. This is a tasty mid-range deck. And I'm sitting there now thinking, Wholesome is genius. It is. It's a very tasty mid-range deck, and it said, I don't care if you're running 5 or 6 big late game cards in yellow purple. I am going to take this game to you. I have mid-range. I have the aggression when I need it. I've got a mid-range game and I've got a late game. Wholesome, what are your thoughts on that 2-0 matchup, buddy?
I mean, I think that played up more or less as expected. Large Nuggets might have gotten a little unlucky with some of the top decks, but yeah, they just queued in. They basically had to play somebody who's running 3 copies of Pit Fiends, an insane amount of draw, and you have 5 Spirit Gate, which they drew every game and couldn't get much value out of it. They didn't see Master of Shadows this game, and so it kind of felt a little more one-sided for Silver Arrow. And then they had Gigantomachia both games, and that's one of the reasons why that card was nerfed, is because it is stupid good.
It's super, super strong. It really is. And at the end of the day, Large Nuggets couldn't keep up with the insane card draw that Silver Arrow was just showing us game like consistently over both games. But so that's the first of the semi-finals, people. We are now going to go for a quick break. Perfect opportunity for you guys to go get any drink you want. I'm promoting alcoholism or anything like that. As I said, Cosmopolitan earlier, I know it's early in some places, but go get whatever drink you want. I'm not going to specify names on drinks. Go get whatever drink you want. Take a break, have a little toilet break, whatever you need to do. We'll see you again in about 5-10 minutes, and we'll be back for the next semi-final, which sees Cardine facing off against 2 Thaka. Until then, guys, have a great break, and we'll catch you in a minute.